All right, we are talking NFL playoff football as we go into wild card weekend. Me and Big Z still at it, ripping it. Couple long days at the office. First full week feeling that a little bit. Gonna be honest. That's before a warehouse day tomorrow. Hello. And it's before the playoff wild card weekend, which always one of the more fun weekends. I think divisional round, you get a couple of these bad teams out of here. Dolphins. Come on, Zach. Should we just go full sports radio today? If you see something on the soundboard, Zach, give one a rip whenever you find the moment for it. It doesn't have to be right now, but when you...
I'll wait.
Yeah, when you know it's there, let one rip. As you guys know, I like going in chronological order because you can map out your weekend a little bit. I don't expect everyone to give their full Saturday and Sunday to the NFL. Some of you will. If you're listening to Wake and Jake, a sports show, there's a chance you are, actually. But we like to dive through it, see what's there, and I think with a little extra time can go a little further into the games. First game, Seahawks at Niners. The San Francisco 49ers are rolling. Zach, do you know how many games they've won in a row?
How many?
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Wow.
You don't really... Oh, you thinking about it? 10 games in a row for the San Francisco 49ers. Everyone loves the 49ers. They have talent all over their roster. They've got a history of success. John Lynch in their front office. Shanahan is a lot of people's favorite coach in the National Football League. The one thing they've got going on is their quarterback is Brock Purdy, who is the last pick in the draft that our society / NFL society has so kindly nicknamed Mr. Irrelevant. The 49ers are trying to win the Super Bowl with Mr. Irrelevant at quarterback. And again, they've won a ton of games in a row. The team is so talented. I remember there was a Hail Mary for Jimmy G to come back if they go like Super Bowl divisional round. Does it matter? Brock Purdy's been playing pretty good football. Zach's writing that down. He's gonna tell his significant other Cass about that. Reveal.
Oh God.
Sorry, Zach. I'm running a little kooky today. Here's what I'll tell you. It's in San Francisco. They are stacked. They're playing Seattle, who was allowed to be in the playoffs because the Lions beat Aaron Rodgers and the Packers in a game that didn't matter. The Seahawks have been not the Seahawks that got off to a nice start this year, and they won a couple nice football games. They beat the Broncos the first week before we thought they were terrible. They got a nice win against the Lions, the Chargers, even Zach's G-Men when they went out to the West Coast, and it was like, okay, these Seahawks have a little bit of the juice. Mid-season, they go on a little 1-5. Credit to them. They've won their last 2 games at home versus bad teams, the Jets and the Rams. That Jets game mattered a lot to them. They got the Jets' best punch, which, again, ends up not being much. They beat the Rams in OT, and the Rams kind of had nothing to play for. Maybe McVay's last game, and you're on their third quarterback. The spread in this game is 9.5. I'm taking the Niners. I think they're going to roll. They just have... Their skill positions are just too much. They've been with... Deebo Samuel was not at full health for a while. When he's full tilt, he's one of my favorite wide receivers, and he was a hell of a running back before they brought in Christian McCaffrey, who some respect as one of the best pass-catching running backs in the league. George Kittle has been going. When you cover all those guys, it feels like Brandon Ayuk is always open. It's the first game of the playoff weekend, the 4:30 on Saturday. Hey, NFL football, right? Anything can happen. Brock Purdy, can he just have a meltdown of all meltdowns, and that's what we're talking about Monday? You can't rule it out because he's a young quarterback. But I've got the Niners. Big sack.
Oh, snap. That was lit.
The night game. Chargers, Jaguars, pump it into my veins. 8:15 in Jacksonville. Duval, the stadium is going to be raucous. It was last Saturday. Back-to-back Saturdays with do-or-die games for the Jacksonville Jaguars. They've got a rowdy crowd. It's a little bit Jacksonville, not to be shots fired at the Ville, which we've done before. But, man, you get some crazy Florida people there, and that's what they had last week. That's what they're going to have this week. The Chargers come into town. They are one of the most talented football teams in the NFL. I believe that, especially high-end talent. I love Justin Herbert. I think he is next. He is him as I look at handsome Ron, who just entered our producer room over there. If you know Ronnie from John Boy Media, you know what I'm talking about. Unfortunately, as I told you last time, and then I heard people that I respect their NFL opinion say, Brandon Staley, the Chargers head coach, I think my way to phrase it is he's not my cup of tea. He played their starters all game in a game that didn't matter last week against the Broncos, and they lost. It was like, for everything. You're on the road in Mile High against a bad team in a game that doesn't matter, and you lose. And Mike Williams got hurt. I don't know. I enjoy Trevor Lawrence. I don't know what he's going to be. I love Justin Herbert, and I'm buying all the stock I still can in what he's going to be. I think there's going to be an argument in a couple years that Brandon Staley could have been what was holding back the Chargers from being a better team. I'm all in on the environment in Jacksonville. I'm in on Trevor Lawrence. That team believes in what they're doing. Doug Peterson has the NFL pedigree and the Eagles and all that, what he did there. I'm in on the Jags. Right now it's +2. That line has moved a lot. I'm going with Jacksonville. If Herbert and the Chargers win, it's not a surprise, but I think it's a little bit in spite of their head coach. And again, that's ruder than I like to be, but we put out a clip last week where I was ruder than that. So, I mean, Zach, if you had to pick between these games, you're watching the night game, right?
Probably.
Will you watch these games, Zach? I'm intrigued to find out.
I'm going to watch the Giants.
You're a sports guy.
Yeah.
And you're a Giants guy.
Yeah.
And they're playing Sunday.
I'm interested in that.
Yeah. Let's go to Sunday. The 3-game slate. Miami at Buffalo. The Giants at Minnesota. Baltimore, Cincinnati. The nightcap. We'll get to your Giants, Zach. I swear. And BBD's Giants. How about that?
Yeah.
Friends. When's he come back?
After this week.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure he'd be back by Monday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interested.
Yeah.
Wonder if he's flying during the game.
Oh man, I don't know.
That would be stinky. Miami, Buffalo. This might be the game I'll be the quickest with. The college football national championship just happened. Georgia was a 13-point favorite, and in my head I was like, man, by the way, if you want to play some DraftKings bet, code Bakers, they're giving their NFL playoff. Bet $5, get $200 on it. Use code Bakers if you want to get in the game with DraftKings. Miami at Buffalo. I was like, going back to the national championship game, I was in on Georgia, but then I was doing this kind of cold feet where I was like, 13 points is a lot, and it's a national championship game. How often are those bad? And TCU's got a good quarterback. I'm sure. Probably the worst national chip game ever. Georgia runs them out of the building. Buffalo, Miami, Tua just got ruled out. He's not playing. Thompson, Skylar Thompson, another 7th-round draft pick at quarterback. 2 7th-round draft picks at quarterback are starting this weekend. I always wonder, that's so funny to me, man, that like, there's a quarterback that got drafted in the 4th or 5th round this year that like didn't play. Mm-hmm. But these guys, I don't know. It's just sometimes the world works in mysterious ways. Damar Hamlin just got released from the hospital. We love that. We're happy about that. I think Buffalo's going to be out of control. I don't know how much stock you put into anything. Buffalo is a Super Bowl favorite coming into the season. They've done nothing to fully disprove that. I think their biggest problem is the Chiefs. If Damar Hamlin is at that stadium and you believe in sports and the power of sports, that's a fan base that's out of control regardless. If Damar's in the building, I mean, with a 7th-round quarterback against a Miami team that snuck into the playoffs, I don't know. I believe in sports too much to be against Buffalo and any of that. And, I mean, even if you're Miami, I mean, you strap on the pads and you're playing NFL playoff football. But if a couple things go south in that game for Miami, a pick six, a strip sack fumble that leads to a quick touchdown or something like that, you just know the world's kind of against you. Like, I know that's not everything, and there's more X's and O's and Jimmys and Joes, but I think America's rooting Buffalo. They are the better team at home against the Miami Dolphins team that without Tua Tagovailoa hasn't been good. So there's the football side, there's the life side and emotional side. Buffalo big. Buffalo bigly. The game of the weekend, Zach, I think.
The stakes, they're high. I enjoy them.
The New York Football Giants. Coming into this season, new head coach. Daniel Jones, probably his last year. They didn't re-up his contract. What is he? Boring outfits. Boring press conferences. Brian Daboll and the boys, they put it together this whole season. They got themselves a little bit of a bye week last week. Their Eagles game that did not matter. They got to rest a lot of their good players. We saw the week before a lot of the teams that got to rest their guys. Jones McFly, is he a Giants fan? I don't know. I think he's going to be at the Talking Giants live event.
Okay.
Or he's supposed to be, but you never fully know. The Giants will face the Minnesota Vikings in Minnesota. The Vikings, 13-4, one of the most hated 13-4 teams that's ever existed because they used to only play 16 games. They lost to the Packers 2 weeks ago. They lost to the Lions a few weeks before that. They had the biggest comeback in football history against the Indianapolis Colts on Thanksgiving. The next week they played the New York Football Giants. They won that game 27-24. Giants had a couple opportunities. Zach, they got left by the wayside. I think Richie James, I saw some tough tweets about him after that game. I think he had a bad drop on a 3rd down that I think that would have been big points. The Vikings have played close games all year. Nobody likes or believes in Kirk Cousins if it's honesty hour. I like the Vikings skill positions a lot. Talked about that. Hawkinson, Dalvin Cook, Madison even. Thielen. You Thielen this. Their defense ain't great. These two teams played close. I'm too close to the situation to be against the New York Giants. I think the bigger thing is the New York Giants are in a playoff game. I shouldn't say they can easily win, but they can win. And that's pretty cool, Zach. We didn't know that coming into the season.
I didn't expect this.
My heart is too close to it. A little spoiler, I'm doing my Jakey parlay. And I'm taking the Giants. I think they were plus 4, something like that. Man, that has the potential for the game of the weekend. I think it's, up until this point, it's best chance for upset. Jacksonville at home, not being favored, 2-point spread, that's a chance for upset, you can say. I mean, the New York Giants, in a way, the 10-7 Giants playing a 13-4, which is normally a dominant football team. You wouldn't think they'd have a dog in a fight. Man, they've got a big dog in the fight. And I think if a couple things go their way, I think, let me talk about the human brain, Zach.
Yeah.
I think the Vikings have heard all year that people have doubted them. They've answered that well when they were down to the Colts so many points at halftime and they came back. They've got a belief in themselves. The Giants have all the belief in the world. They have house money. I believe in Dayball over the Vikings' tall, handsome coach. This is kind of a nice Minnesota Nordic handsome coach. Dayball, Giants, jersey. They're going to have to win it ugly. I'm too close to the situation. I like the G-men. And Zach, for a lot of this office and for you and for BBD, I hope I'm right. Go nuts Saquon. You know?
I'd love to see him have a good playoffs.
Like Saquon, a signature Saquon game. I feel like, has he had that this year? I feel like he had a couple games early on where he was really good to kind of get this season on track. But I felt like
his memories for me are like from his like first season.
Right, because it was like Saquon, the thighs.
Yeah.
Let me click on those thighs really quick. Saquon Barkley.
He had a good game this year.
5th year. I mean, he's had a great season.
Well, yeah. I'm just saying, like, I feel like there was one we talked about early on.
Let's see. The Texans, he ran for 152, 35 carries. Jacksonville, 24 for 110. That was on the road. That was a big game. The Bears, 146. Titans, week 1, 164 to kind of get the season
Probably, yeah.
off the ground. Yeah. He hasn't broken 100 yards since the Texans, November 13th. So, yeah, interested to see. Against the Vikings, he was 14 for 84. It's a good game. 8 catches, 49 yards. I would love that signature Saquon Barkley game because he's when he does it, there's a little bit of a cool factor. When he gets rolling, bust out a little spin move here and there, a little funk. You know I like that. You know that's how I live. I've gotten so far away from this game in Saquon's thighs, and I'm clearly biased in it, but go Giants, go Giants, go. The nightcap, the Cincinnati Bengals and the Baltimore Ravens. Bengals are 8-point favorites, which is a lot in the NFL. It's in Cincinnati. The Bengals just beat up on them last week. They beat them 27-16. They played them earlier in the season, and they lost 19-17 in Baltimore. Lamar Jackson played that game. I think they're still unsure if Lamar Jackson is going to play this game. Even if he has, there will be a cool factor if Lamar plays, right? Like division game, third game. Lamar hasn't played in a month, and he has a chance when he plays to be special on any given night. I don't love the rust factor of a true month off and then jumping into playoff football, even if he plays. And if it's Huntley, I don't believe in him. And if it's not Huntley, you're on a third-string quarterback. That's too many question marks in Cincinnati. And the Bengals are the defending AFC champs. And Joe Burrow's kind of a special cat. So I'm drinking the Cincinnati Kool-Aid. With the spreads, my Jakey parlay is Buffalo, New York, Cincy. So that's going to hit. Zach said he's going to bet it. He promised me and Kevin. So if he doesn't, he's a liar. And I really hate that.
Is that live?
And I'd really hate that. It's going live soon. It's been sent to go live.
Okay.
So, and then Monday night, hey, we'll be back here doing Wake and Jake so I can put a little more heart on the line after the weekend. Tampa, Dallas. Tampa at home. Tom Brady never lost to Dallas. I'm not buying into Tampa. Boy, would it be fun. And maybe we'll see some NFL whistles go a little Tampa way. I don't know. I don't need to go full conspiracy theory on you. I think Dallas is really good. I think they took last week off against the Redskins. Commanders. Fine jar. Although, hell of a time to play your worst game, Dallas Cowboys. Last game going into the playoffs, and they played their starters. And the game half mattered to them, but not. They also lost to the Bucs, game 1 of the regular season, 19-3. The Bucks seem to be coming up. Dallas, there's a chance they're coming down. Tom Brady has never lost to the Cowboys. It's the beauty of sports. The Bucks could roll, and I'd be like, oh, Tom Brady never lost to the Cowboys. They beat him week 1. Or you say, Cowboys are a pretty good football team. 12-5. Give it to Tony Pollard. Give it to Zeke. Let Dak cook. CeeDee Lamb. Micah Parsons. He was in the MVP running for a little bit. Monday night should be a real treat, and it's NFL porn. The Dallas Cowboys and Tom Brady. Maybe they're two favorite things. So enjoy the NFL weekend. We will be watching. Go Giants. Might try to swing by the Talking Giants watch party. We'll see. It's a big weekend. Thank you, Ziggy, for filling in. Appreciate you. Double shift this week, pretty much. Tough. Beebs will be back from Jamaica, and we will see you guys Monday. Love you. Go Sports. Bakers.